Lane Kiffin, Tywone, Malone, and Dayton Wade met with the media following Monday's practice. This is all what they had to say. We'll talk about a brief little bit of notes and get you to the players talking. This is the extra edition of the Locked On Ole Miss Podcast.
You are Locked On Ole Miss, your daily podcast on the Ole Miss Rebels. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
All right, welcome to this extra edition of the Locked On Ole Miss Podcast. I'm your host, Stephen Willis, and we have a lot to talk about. Tywone, Malone, Dayton Wade, and Lane Kiffin met with the media following Monday's practice. The big news that came out of this, we got about 8 minutes worth of audio for you to listen to of the players actually talking, but Jalen Robinson has been hurt for much of the fall camp. That has allowed J.J. Henry, who has really apparently showed out, to almost take a foothold of the slot position. Now, there's stuff for Jalen Robinson. If he comes back, there's still time for him to come back. But J.J. Henry apparently has had a really good camp. They mentioned him several times throughout these press conferences highlights through camp. So, big news there. J.J. Henry taking a step and is looking to get on the field. Also, Dayton Wade, a transfer walk-on from Western Kentucky, just like Ja'Cour Pearson, is in line to play right now. He plays on the outside. He's a 5'10 receiver. Lane Kiffin compared him a little bit to Ja'Cour, but Ja'Cour was like 5'6". So he's a little bit taller version of it. He also speaks very highly of Ja'Cour Pearson. And as predicted, the quarterback controversy and competition, nothing is being said. Nothing is known about that. This has all been planned. I figure we'll find something out at this rate by the Georgia Tech week going on. People are in the Locked On network is calling me. It's like, who's going to be the quarterback? And I'm like, heck if I know. It could be anybody. We'll find out sooner or later. But before we get started and let you hear from the players, I do want to tell you about BetOnline.net. It is the fastest and easiest way to check in on all your betting needs. Find all of your favorite sports and events at the #1 online source for odds, lines, and games. Find reviews and news of every league, including Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, esports, and even golf. BetOnline continues to be the top online resource for all of your sports wagering information. From live in-game betting, scores, and podcasts, they have you covered. Head to BetOnline today or use your mobile device to learn more about the action happening today. Right now, Ole Miss is a 21.5-point favorite over Troy. We'll see if that changes once we get into game week. And, of course, the over-under for the regular season wins currently is set for 7.5 for Ole Miss. If you disagree with any of that, you can put your money where your mouth is. BetOnline, where the game starts. Also, thank you for making the Locked On Ole Miss Podcast your first listen every day. We are free and available wherever you get your podcast, including YouTube. So do us a favor, go up there and mash the subscribe button on this YouTube video. You can hit the bell for notifications and new videos when they come up, and of course, upvote the video itself. We would appreciate it greatly. Anyway, here is Lane Kiffin, Tywone, Malone, and Dayton Wade.
I thought there were some really good things. We had a number of injuries defensively, so we gave up some explosive plays, which obviously, whenever one side does good, it's the issue with the other side. So I thought that the speed of the offense was good and the mechanics with it. So, but again, we played without a few significant defensive players.
Camp is going great, and as you know, our room is deep. We got a lot of transfers. We got a lot of people that's been here. And as far as us competing and whatnot, we're more so like collective. Like our coaches, he puts a lot of emphasis on how great we'll be if we stick together versus being apart. So we don't really worry about like who gonna start this week, who getting the most reps, whoop. We're more so like, hey, make sure you're doing your assignment, you do it right, hey. That's what we're looking for, you know what I'm saying? So whoever's the most consistent and doing the right thing and is dependable, who can be reliable, that's what we, you know what I'm saying, more so geared towards.
I would say fall camp been good. Everybody got unique skills, and for me personally, it's just trying to get back in football. You know, coming from baseball, transitioning to football, it's a lot. So I'm just doing my techniques, doing what Coach tell me, and just getting in shape for the season.
I know it sounds the same. You know, they're very close. You know, I feel like every day you could go out there and say one and the next day say the other. So this will be a tough call, which is a good thing.
All right, it definitely was a gamble. So when I entered the portal, I was getting looks. I had a few offers and whatnot. But one of my old teammates that was at my old school with me, Ja'Cory Pearson, he called me, and this was around the time they was going for the Sugar Bowl, prepping for the Sugar Bowl and whatnot. And he was like, look, whatever you got going on, forget about it. Come to Ole Miss. Like, walk on. He was like, the way you play, what you can bring to the table and whatnot, Lane Kiffin would love it. You know what I'm saying? He was like, you see what I'm doing? Whoop, whoop, whoop. So he just told me, like, look, here's the blueprint. All you got to do is execute. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, I believe in myself. Like, I don't see myself as cocky. I see myself as more confident because I'm humble with it. So, you know how the cocky go. You just, but I got some humble to me. You know what I'm saying? So when I came, I didn't come in like, oh, I'm woo, woo. I came out, I was quiet. I was like, hey, I'm just going to do my job, learn my assignment, woo, woo, woo. But Ja'Cory Pearson, he had a large influence of that. Like, I think literally last night, I thank you so much, Peasy. You changed my life, you know what I'm saying? Because he really did. He saw the opportunity for me. He was like, hey, I think this will work for you, you know what I'm saying? So I just, leap of faith, let's do it.
More such on my pass rush game. That was something big I wanted to work on this summer. My running defense that's always been my biggest strong suit, so I've just been working on my pass rush.
Yeah, it's just really cool, you know, for someone to be a two-sport player. On that note, congratulations to Plumlee. I saw this morning of winning the quarterback job there, two-sport players. But you usually don't have a big one, you know, of this size, defensive lineman. So there's good and bad to everything. The bad part is, you know, you got to work yourself back in, you know, because you missed some time. So he's doing a great job.
Cause my mom and my family, they believe in me so much. So it was really easy. Like when I told them what I was gonna do, they didn't look at me like, or you know what I'm saying? They was like, hey, you think you could do it? Do it. Like, you've been doing everything else. Everything you say, you put your mind to it. You put the work in, whatever it is. You stay down, you know what I'm saying? Just, we behind you. We back you 100%. You need anything, pick up the phone. And that's how it's been.
To be told, not much. I've been doing it my whole life, so it's pretty easy. But just to do, like, actually playing it and just getting out there with the guys, it is hard at first, but you just got to dig deeper and keep going.
I mean, there's a lot of guys, you know, so I don't really know singling them out, but, you know, we need our backup defensive players to play, so we don't have to play our frontline guys as much as we did a year ago, and to develop so we can play better special teams.
Definitely, because when I came in at our old school, he was like my mentor. He was teaching me the ropes and whatnot. Like, he really taught me football. He taught me coverages. He taught me like how to run routes versus certain things, what to look for, like pre-snap. You know what I'm saying? I give you a little hint. You could just draw you a little triangle. That's gonna tell you the side of the defense that they running. You know what I'm saying? On your side of the field, it make the game a whole lot easier. So I can understand where he get the style of play from, because it's knowledge of the game. You know what I'm saying? It's just passed down.
Right after the baseball season was over, I went home for a couple of days just for a mental break, and I got back with my trainer and stuff like that. So me and him been working together, and then when I came down here, it was back to getting into business.
I don't know. I mean, I answer these every day from Knox. He FaceTimes me every day, what's going on to quarterback. So I feel like I've practiced at this. And then he says, well, you really know, so just tell me. I really don't know. So again, you could be frustrated, or you can glass half empty, glass half full, or you can say, you know what, if there was a big difference, then probably one of them wasn't doing very well. So I looked at it as both are doing well and creating a hard situation, which is a good thing to have.
Pretty well. Like, I'm even finna try to get in it. Well, not finna try. I'm finna get in the slot too. You know what I'm saying? Like, expand. Like, the more you know, the more better, more complete of a receiver you want to be, and that's what I see myself as a complete receiver versus he's just an outside receiver. He's just a slot. You know what I'm saying? People wouldn't think because of my build, they'd be like, oh yeah, he in the slot, but I've been out wide. You know what I'm saying? Because that's just how you play. But yeah.
Just to get to work, we really in depth in the D-line room, and everybody bring their own different skill sets to the D-line, and that's one thing that we really didn't have last year, and that's one thing we try to work on this summer. But to them, those are great guys. They taught me a lot about pass rush moves and helping me get better, helping me get in shape, and just teaching me everything I need to know.
I mean, it's been different places, but when we have a unique player that, no disrespect to the other guys, is above the other guys around, like you've heard me say, it's not like T-ball. Everybody doesn't, get to bat around the order. So, our job's to win games and get the ball to the best players. And I think Drummond's was an example of some injuries too, because I wouldn't have predicted that at the beginning of the year, with Mingo and Braylon, but then both guys were hurt for a lot of the year. So I probably could have predicted that more with Elijah. And when it's a slot doing it, makes it a lot easier to get him the ball on, some run type stuff.
It's similarities, but it's different. Like, here, we're more so a big play. Like, let's go make the big play. But at my old school, it was like picking everybody apart. So it was fast paced, so that's the same. The tempo is the same, it's similar. But as far as like play calling, we trying to get that, you know what I'm saying? Like, score from far, that's the, you know what I'm saying, our caption. So that's really what we pride on,
To be told, I don't know. But I feel like we have a great depth, and we're going to be rotating a lot of guys this year. So anybody can play at any moment.
It's been really good. It's deeper than it's been. I would bet we already knew at this time the last 2 years who were the guys and what exactly was the order. So the wild card is, Flash has been hurt for a while, so he hasn't been doing much at all. So that's hard when you have a new player who hasn't been there that you saw for a little bit and have some ideas of what you do with him, and then he's not out there. So that's kind of the wild card and thing. J.J. Henry's done awesome. I joked with Flash the other day in the training room, asked him if he had a redshirt year. And he's like, yeah, why? I'm like, you're sitting here longer. You might want to use your redshirt year the way that JJ's playing. So I think that motivated him because he came out for a little bit today. So
Mason came before me. Yeah, Mason came before me, and then when he found out I was coming, he was like, oh. And then we ended up getting Coach Crum, too. So seeing Coach Crum, that put a huge, like, I'm here, and I'm like, Coach Crum? You know what I'm saying? So that was great, too. So they say Ole Miss the pipeline for WKU players. That's what they say around here.
I work both sides. Depends on what our scheme is and what we want to run, but I can play inside and outside.